Here's a mindful man reading another chapter. I may read a lot of chapters because I can't find the chapter. I just read it until I get tired. He had an apple and a bottle of water in his rucksack. He was so thirsty after half an hour of walking around that he sat on a bench and drank it. It was then that he heard people shouting and the sound of people having fun, and he went to investigate. He soon realized the sounds were coming from a tennis court. He got closer to investigate and he could see two girls playing vigorously. He sat down and watched them. They were about 2 years older than him and were running madly, hitting the ball violently, and their ponytails were bobbing about with every shot. After a few minutes, they noticed him watching them, and they walked over and surprised him by asking if he wanted to play. He'd never played before, but he was dressed for the occasion, and he decided to give it a go. It was such fun hitting the ball over the net, but it was also tiring, and he was glad to have his water with him. Every now and then he would stop and have a drink. He wasn't sure of the rules, so he just kept hitting the ball as hard as he could and hoped for the best. Josh realized that he had some aptitude for the game, and pretty soon they were building up rallies, and finally the game ended as they were all worn out. That was great fun, said one of the girls, laughing, and she shook his hand. The other girl approached him as if to do the same, and then she surprised him by kissing him on the cheek. It was his first kiss, and he left them with a wave and with his heart fluttering like a butterfly. He didn't even know their names. That's a great start to the day, he thought, and he smiled at the thought of keeping another story to himself. He had never really thought of girls before, as he was always too busy doing new things or planning new trips. His white t shirt was drenched in sweat, but didn't take long for it to dry. In the baking heat, it was so hot that he decided he needed to get indoors, and the only place he could think of was the library. It didn't take long to find it. He was amazed by the rows and rows of books. It was difficult to know which one to pick first. He decided on a picture book of the planets as he was too tired to read many words, so he just studied the pictures and let his imagination take flight. He tried to remember the names of them all to impress people when he got back to school, but it was difficult to remember. He decided to walk to the edge of the village just to see what was there and what he had missed. Once again he heard shouting and the thwack of a ball. He edged closer, looking through the trees, and he realized he was on the edge of a golf course.